I know we've only known each other for 4 weeks and 3 days, but to me, it seems like 9 weeks and 5 days.
All my passionate plant people and garden enthusiasts. It's time for the Sunday edition of the Let's Get Growing show right here on the Urban Gardener channel. I'm Enoch. I'm your host today. We've got a really awesome show for you today. Really excited to have my friends Christopher Brandsdal from the mountains of Norway and Khang Starr from the Lone Star State of Texas here back with us on the Let's Get Growing show for another roundtable conversation. It's always good to see my good friends. These are, again, I always mention this too, is these are like my original like live streaming cohorts. These guys were like the first people I got to like do live streaming with and interview and talk to and all of that. And they were friends of mine before up to that, but yeah, this was my first endeavor into like live interviewing here on the channel was with these guys. So it's always great to bring them back every couple months or so and catch up with what they've got growing on. So we'll catch up with them here in just a little bit later on in the show coming up here. Also, real quick here too, roll calls coming up in just a little bit as well too. So you want to get into the comment section right now. Let us know you're here. Let us know what you got growing on and all of that, so you can be ready for roll call coming up in just a few more minutes here. And also, right at the top of the show, let's go ahead and click that like button, thumbs up. Let's go ahead and subscribe, bell notification to be notified of all of our upcoming episodes, and share with all of your garden friends out there. Let them know about the Let's Get Growing show, which is now your 3-day gardening weekend. That's right, we're 3 days now, starting with every Saturday and Sunday as usual, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern. But now we're also extending out the weekend into Monday. Yeah, your 3-day weekend now goes into Monday for our new show, The Green Room. Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And that is going to be with my good friend Natalie from the Fresh Princess. Natalie's our co-host for this show, and we've got lots and lots of really awesome things coming up here as well too. I'll talk about upcoming guests and everything here coming up in just a little bit. But we want to also give a big, huge shout out to Team Replay here at the top of the show as well too. Thank you all so much for hanging out and coming here on your time and watching our show and checking out these just really awesome gardening conversations with all of these just amazing gardeners from around the world here on our show. So again, thank you so much for being here. Drop down into the comments section down below and let us know you're here. And if you are here joining us live right now, definitely join the conversation, jump into the conversation right there. And let us know you're here. Again, like I said, we got roll call coming up here. We want to know who you are, where you're at, what you got growing on, all that sort of stuff, so that we can make sure we give you a shout out here in just a few minutes here. And also, too, when our guests come up here just a little bit later on the show as well, drop in your questions and comments into the chat, and we just might feature them on the show. And follow all of our links down below for our guests, and go over to their channels and give them a big, huge shout out and let them know you saw them here on the Let's Get Growing show. So right on, everybody. Really awesome to be here on the Sunday edition with all of you. Just a really great weekend going on here so far on the Let's Get Growing show for sure. And I don't know if you got a chance to join with us yesterday. Yesterday we had a really great show featuring our good friend Destin Nook from Texas Garden Guy, and also the Garden Party podcast. And we also got to meet Sean and Allison from Spoken Garden. In fact, this was Sean and Allison's second time being on the show, so it was really awesome to get back together with them and see how things are growing on. You want to go back, check out that show yesterday if you haven't had a chance to yet. Now, also, one of the things I also want to mention on the top of the show, one of the new things that we're doing here on the show as well is during our breaks, we're going to start highlighting snapshots of the week is what we're calling it. These are going to be pictures from your gardens, just whatever, your garden space, your garden. You got a garden pet out in the garden. You got you got something going on. You got something really cool you want us to show us and everything that you've got growing on in your garden. This is your opportunity to have photos from your garden featured here on the show. So during the breaks, you're going to notice our little snapshots of the week cards, and we're going to put those in. So all you got to do here in order to get your snapshot featured here on the Let's Get Growing show is just send us an email. All you got to do is send us an email here to theurbangardener@mail.com and send us some photos in. But be sure to let me know your name, where you're from, and tell us a little bit about that photo as well too. So I love to see those photos. We've already gotten a few coming in already from our announcement last week. So thank you everybody who's already starting to send in some photos from your garden. But the one thing I do have to say is we start getting inundated with a whole bunch of photos. We got 6 spots throughout the weekend, our 3-day weekend here. So hopefully we'll be able to get those fitted in if we get plenty of photos and all of that sort of stuff. So we'll try to fit those in as we can for sure. But definitely come and drop those in again at theurbangardener@mail.com. That's mail, not gmail.com, but theurbangardener@mail.com. Send us in your photos to be featured here on Snapshots of the Week. All right. And also, everybody, just we're getting the year started like we've been talking about. Again, this is our only second week of the new 2026 year here on Let's Get Growing. And again, we've got lots of just really awesome things. I hope you all had a chance to join with us last week as we were just kind of getting everything launched up and going and all of that sort of stuff too. But we've got another really great weekend as well too. And I just want to also say that booking is really going great right now. And I think we got some really amazing, awesome shows for all of you coming up. So you're definitely going to want to stick around. You definitely want to make sure that you're hitting that notification button when you get an opportunity to, so you don't miss out on any of these just really great shows that we have coming up here on the Let's Get Growing show. All right, and let's see here. Also, let's see, what am I going to do? Oh, you know what? I want to talk about this real quick here too, as this is our last weekend to kind of mention our previous, but on our Sunday editions of the show, we do our monthly gardening book club. These are really great, fun shows that we do once a month, every third Sunday here on the Sunday edition, where we get together with my good friend, Mark Boucher Colbert. Mr. MBC gets together with us as co-host. And we interview some really awesome gardeners here on the show. And this last Sunday, or not last Sunday, was it? Yeah, it was last Sunday. I don't remember my days, but it was last Sunday. We had on the show with us Sam Kaufman. He's author of Survival Gardening, How to Grow Your Own Food Supply from Seed to Root Cellar. This was a really great book, really, really great conversation, everybody. Again, there was just a little bit of technical issues at the beginning. Get past the technical issues. You can fast forward through all of that sort of stuff, but get to the part of the conversation with Sam there. Really good stuff, talking with him all about survival gardening. And then we announce our next month's book at the end of each of our book club shows. So we announced this next month's book club is Willie Galloway's Veggies for Breakfast. And we haven't really delved into cookbooks quite yet, and maybe this is getting us closer to like a real full-on cookbook in a sense. We did have Kristen Graves a little while back, and her garlic book had a few recipes peppered into it. We just had Sam on last week, and he's got a few little recipes peppered in there, and I think some of our previous books might have had a few in there that go along with their book. This one here, though, is really packed full, and it's intentionally a cookbook for gardeners, because this is really going to show you how and what are some really amazing, excellent ways to utilize that produce that you're growing out in that garden and use it in your breakfast for the most important meal of the day, right? The most important meal of the day. So let's get some of our garden harvests into that as well too. So we'll hang out with Willie Galloway here coming up this next month for our third week. I think it's the 16th, if I'm not too sure, if I'm remembering correctly on that. But come and join with us then. Going to be a really, really great discussion with Willie Galloway there. Awesome, everybody. Right on. Here we are, just cruising right along today. I do got to get this all set up though too here, but right on. I hope all of you are having a really, really great week. But let's go ahead and get this going here today. It's like I said, this is a new way for us to kind of intentionally get in here and say hi to everybody and give folks a shout out joining with us here live on the show. And this is basically a new segment this month that we are calling Roll Call.
My name is Kevin. Yeah. That is my name. Yeah. They call me Kevin. Yeah. Because that's my name. Roll call.
All right. Now this is time for all of you to jump in, or hopefully you've already jumped in too, because this is one of the best. This is the big thing about this roll call is that we're doing it. We're announcing it at the beginning of the show. We're going to come in a little bit, few minutes in and all that, hopefully giving everybody enough time to go ahead and jump in there already so we can flag your comments and everything so we can say hi to you here on the show. And I saw, of course, just before the show got started, our good friend Robin Gardens was in the chat there. A couple of inches of new snow and some blowing, looks like more weather drama tonight. What is that? 30 plus mile an hour gusts, sub-zero again tonight. Dreaming of spring. Man, I can't blame you. I've been hearing about this storm and everything. It's pretty wild so far. Can't believe it. All right. And also, of course, we got to say hi to our good friend Jay Dixon, our facilitator and backstage producer here. Jay Dixon, thank you so much for everything you do, joining us from Midwestern Ontario, Canada. Keep an eye out for Jay's links and all of that in the conversation as she helps us with putting in some good extra information, links to topics and all that sort of stuff throughout the show. But also, if you do have a small channel and you're new to the show or haven't had your channel shouted out in a while, let Jay know as well in the chat is there too, and she'll drop in a link for you so we can all go and give you some support there over on your channel too. And we got Guten Gardening. We'll see him here in just 1 minute. Thank you, Paul, for being here. He says he's going to be listening in. I'm sure he's probably out working and doing some things right now, but that's one cool thing about a fun, cool talk show like this. It may be video and all that sort of stuff, but you can also kind of treat it as a podcast too, and just kind of turn it on, set it aside somewhere, and just kind of listen to the whole conversation that we have here today. Leslie, it's always great to see you in the conversation. Thank you for being here today. So awesome to have you with us. Also, Colorado clouds. Excellent. Great to have you here. I see our good friend David from Bowtie Life in the Garden. Triple G, greetings, global gardeners. I am running like a madman, draining several irrigation systems and irrigation systems for clients and covering plants ahead of tonight's possible freeze of the winter. Oh my gosh, yeah. Even you guys there up in the upper panhandle of Florida are be hitting with this storm. That's crazy. It's wild. I'm kind of glad it's cold here. I mean, things did freeze over for us kind of a little bit earlier, but in no way is it anywhere as cold as what everybody else is dealing with right now. Kevin, hello. Hey, how great to see you. He says his garden is under about a foot of snow today. I think that's pretty common for a lot of folks right now. Everybody's gardens are nice and tucked in and all of that. We've got Shawnee Grows. Awesome. Excellent. Great to have you here. And stay ahead of your cold list for weather prep. That's a big thing too. Yeah. A lot of folks, I've been seeing some videos, some folks giving out some good advice on good winter prep hacks and stuff to get ready for storms like this. Let's see here. What does he say? David says, I have a new video coming out in a couple of days about healthy honey ferment with turmeric, ginger, lemons, and a few hot peppers. Awesome. Everybody go check out and be sure to go see David's new video coming out there. Excellent. Sam, awesome to see you here. Good afternoon, everyone. Snowed in here in Northwest Ohio. Oyster mushrooms growing and starting some sprouts today. got the seed starting bug. Yeah, it's starting to hit now. This is it. This is get ready. You gotta like Christopher says, I'm ready. We're all ready. It's time for getting our seeds going as well too. When we're or at least starting to really think about and plan a lot of the sort of things that we're going to get out into our gardens coming up here as well too. So right on. And Christopher, we'll see you here in just a few minutes as well too. Thank you for being here today. All right. Let's see who else we got in here. Bohemian Herbology. Hello from Central Illinois. Looking forward to the fun today. Awesome. We've got Farmer Marshall in the conversation. Excellent to see you, Marshall. Awesome to have you around. And let's see here. We got anybody else? Cats, good to see you. Good morning from 8,000 feet in Silver Cliff, Colorado, way up there. Oh boy. Living my Sam Kaufman survival book ordered last week, already received it. Oh, loving. I'm sorry, I said living. Loving the book. Excellent. Yeah, isn't that a great book? Very well put together. I mean, just so awesome. It's stunning with the pictures and everything too. But if you need to know and want to think about any sort of sense of what it would take to really survive and start your own food and all that sort of stuff, get that book. I mean, Sam Kaufman, former Navy SEAL, all that, or Green Beret. Sorry, Green Beret. Let's not get that confused. But herbal medic, all that sort of stuff. This guy's got some great knowledge about some of this stuff, and he put together a really great book. I hope you guys go and get yourself a copy of that book for sure too. Right on. Excellent, everybody. Well, it's about time in the show here. We go ahead and head off into the garden and check out what's been growing on with our good friend Paul. And then we'll be back in a little bit here. Check out our featured guests.
Hello, Let's Get Growing community. I hope all's well. You know, a lot of people who are in the live stream are pretty passionate gardeners. I mean, that's one of the ways that Enoch describes you, as these passionate plant people. But I also think that there are probably a lot of people who are watching the replay, and maybe even some people who are on the live who aren't necessarily the most passionate about gardening. And I wanted to create this video just for you all. Well, for everybody really, but let's see if you all agree with my point of view here. All right. You know, I hope my passion for being in the garden and gardening comes through in every single one of my videos. But I want to start today by saying something that might sound unexpected coming from somebody who cares deeply about gardening. You don't have to be passionate about gardening to begin. And before that goes any further, I want to be clear about my own position. I am passionate about this. I care about plants. I care about the soil. I care about the process of growing things well. You know, I built this raised bed. I built all of our raised beds here intentionally, and I spend time paying attention to what happens in each of them. But my passion is not a prerequisite. You know, I think one of the most common reasons people give for not gardening is that they don't feel that same pull. They assume that if they're not already interested, if they're not excited or curious or invested, then gardening simply isn't meant for them. And I think this belief stops people long before lack of space or lack of time ever does. You know, somewhere along the way, it seems to me anyway, that passion started to feel like the entry requirement rather than something that can develop slowly or sometimes, honestly, not at all. But many meaningful practices in life don't begin with passion. They begin with intentionality, with usefulness, or with the decision to try something carefully and then see what happens. And I think gardening fits that model very well. You know, This raised bed exists because I wanted to see if I could grow in an indoor raised bed. I wanted to learn from it, care for the plants in it, but the plants growing here don't require my enthusiasm. They respond to consistency, attention, basic care. They need soil that supports them. They need light that reaches them. They need water applied thoughtfully, the right time, in the right amount. They don't need excitement. They need steadiness. And I want to make this clear because you know me based on my identity as a gardener. But gardening also doesn't need to become an identity to be worthwhile. It doesn't have to be something you feel emotionally attached to right away. It doesn't have to take up mental space beyond what you're able to give. It can be quiet work. It can be simple work. It can be careful work. It can definitely be enjoyable work. But for many people, I think that's exactly what makes it sustainable, this practice of gardening. But when passion is treated as the starting point, it creates pressure, and pressure, this is from my own experience, often leads to avoidance or quitting. But when the goal is simply to take care or care for something reasonably well, then gardening, I think, becomes far more approachable. So if you're somebody who hasn't stayed with hobbies in the past, that doesn't mean that this pursuit isn't for you. Gardening doesn't demand your constant focus or your constant interest. So, if your attention shifts for a time, the plants don't interpret that as failure. They continue to grow according to their own rhythms, not yours. And indoors, especially, gardening can remain contained and manageable. One bed, one container, one small system that fits into your daily life without overwhelming it. That matters more than I think people, or many people, realize. I also think that we've made the definition of success around gardening far too narrow, because success doesn't have to mean abundance. It doesn't have to be or mean perfection. It doesn't have to mean you do everything correctly the first time. Not at all. Success can mean paying attention. It can mean learning how a plant responds in different situations. It can mean keeping something alive and noticing the changes. And that's often the first step from somebody moving from saying they have a brown thumb to a green thumb. But you don't have to decide that you are a gardener in order to grow something. You can simply be someone who chose to care about a plant, chose to care about growing something small. And if you've been waiting for motivation or excitement before beginning, I want to very gently suggest that you don't need to wait for that feeling. It is acceptable to start without passion. Sometimes, just like in our case, interest grows alongside the plants. I have talked on a number of occasions how we started very small, a little 3x3 bed, and look at us now. Hey, and even if the passion doesn't develop, even if it doesn't, the act of growing something with care still has value. So I'm going to reiterate this. You don't have to love gardening. You don't have to start at that point, and maybe you never get there, but you have to be willing to give something the conditions it needs to grow. And I'm going to reiterate something that I just said a little bit earlier because I want this point to be very clear. I personally believe that in my work as a gardener, my passion has grown as my garden has grown. Each success has brought a heightened sense of accomplishment. Each failure has brought some new lesson, some new piece to me that I can learn by and hopefully not make the mistake again. Each experiment has brought some excitement that I can continue to develop. My passion is developing, but I don't want you, if you're not somebody who grew up with a garden, if you've never even experienced it before, I don't want you to think that that's the starting point. The starting point is this person over here saying, Guten gardening. Although I do say that at the beginning of almost every video. I want you to take from it that if you care enough to get started, just to try, that's what it really takes. You don't have to have passion to be a gardener, but you probably should watch out because you'll probably pick some up along the way. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. One of our primary goals on this channel is to encourage people to grow, encourage people to try growing something new, encourage people to garden, even if it's for the first time ever. And when I was thinking about today's video, that was what I wanted to get across to you, especially for those of you who might be hesitant or who have a belief that is a belief that they can't. Well, this video is for you. Well, it was great to be with you all again. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I look forward to seeing you in the months to come. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you next time.
Ivory Organic was founded on the gardening concept of whitewashing, simply lightening your plants to better tolerate weather extremes, transplant shock, and so much more. Such a valuable gardening practice that farmers have been doing it since BC times. However, in recent years, most research has been caring for plants and trees using latex and tar-based products which are designed to last 100 years but fall off your plants within 1 to 2 years as your plants grow, contaminating your garden soil indefinitely. Available in colors white or more natural looking colors such as brown, green, gray, and grayish. Ivory Organic has 2 general categories of whitewash products. The 3-in-1 Plant Guard, which includes 7 natural oils including castor, cinnamon, clove, garlic, peppermint, rosemary, and spearmint, which offer insect and rodent repellent protection, and the whitewash oil-free formula. Both products also have diatomaceous earth in the base ingredients, which naturally offer some insect repellent protection too. As always, keep growing with Ivory Organics and wishing you all happy gardening.
My mic is muted. I better get that off there. All right, everybody, here we are back at it again here on the Let's Get Growing show. Thanks again to Paul for some really cool perspective on garden passion. I will say this, though. I do say passionate plant people at the beginning of the show, along with garden enthusiasts. I did steal that somewhere along the way, many, many years ago. I will admit that up front. It didn't come from me to begin with. But he does make some great points about passion and all that sort of stuff. Is that even for me, when I first started gardening, I was just growing out of I wanted to try to see what I could do as far as growing food was concerned. I was gifted a cucumber. It grew. It was kind of cool. I was like, wow, this is interesting. I can grow my own food. What else can I grow, kind of thing. And then, like I said, it was, as he mentioned right there at the very end, though, too, this was something that just built. I mean, it just kind of grew and snowballed, really, ultimately. I started right up at the top of the mountain with just a little cucumber, and next thing you know, I got a massive, massive avalanche of garden passion cruising down the mountain now. So it's what kind of happens, when it comes to gardening and all of that. And really great perspective today, Paul. Thank you so much for bringing us that in the garden, in your little grow tent there, too. That's really awesome. And also, everybody, I mentioned just a little bit ago, we had Destin on our show yesterday, along with Sean and Allison from Spoken Garden. Definitely go back and check that out. But last week, we had on the show our good friend Bevan Cohen from Small House Farm and the Seeds and Weeds podcast. And also, we got to meet Corey from Green Bay Gardener. It was a really great conversation with both of them. And also too, I will kind of give a sneak peek eventually. You guys want to make sure you go subscribe or get to Seeds and Weeds podcast in your podcast player or whatever you have too, because I'm going to be recording an episode of Seeds and Weeds with Bevan here for an upcoming show as well too. So you want to keep an eye out for that coming up. And then I also mentioned too, last Sunday we had Sam Coffin on with Survival Gardening. Definitely go and check out that book for sure. But real quick here, I do want to also mention too, as I did at the top of the show, we are a 3-day weekend now. We added a third show to this whole thing, and we have extended your weekend out into Monday evenings now with my co-host and good friend Natalie from the Fresh Princess. She's joining with us now on Monday nights as our co-host to host The Green Room, we're calling it. Just a really, really fun new show, and all of this is going to be more of a, similar to kind of what we do like today or intermittently as well throughout the year on our Sundays, trying to put together little roundtables and stuff. Well, this show is going to be basically based on a roundtable conversation all the time there too. So you'll definitely want to come and check that out. It's going to be where you're going to see lots of gardeners you've seen on the show already before, like on our Are You Following Me segment, but also some gardeners that we haven't got to have here on the show live because they can't be here on the weekends. So now we got a Monday evening. So we got some folks who I've been trying to get on the show for a while to have a live conversation with us here too. But now we can get them on for a Monday evening now outside of the weekends. Plus, it's a good time slot too, also to grab us some more of those Australian gardeners too. So those folks of you out there in Australia, watch out. I'm going to be hunting you down here for our show coming up real soon here on our new Green Room show. Go check out last week though. We did have our good friends Shawnee Groves, Robin Gardens, Sow and Tear on the show with us because they're going to be doing a new segment like we just saw with the In the Garden segment. They're doing a new segment for us called Grow What You Eat. So these ladies will be joined with us on Monday nights in their nice little segment like we just saw from Paul, but talking about again, grow what you eat, how to utilize that sort of stuff you're harvesting out of your gardens for all sorts of different preservation methods and all sorts of stuff. I mean, I just imagine they're just going to cover many different aspects of what you can do with what you grow. So definitely go back, check that one back up, and then also be sure to join with us tomorrow night as well too. And I will tell you all, tomorrow night we've got a really great one ahead for you as well too. This is under that category of someone I've been trying to get on the show live. We did get to have a conversation with Joe Lample from Joe Gardner. What was it? A season before last, we had him on the show, but it was a pre-recorded. And we don't want to do too many pre-recordeds there because I just don't play very well live for our live audience and everything. So it's gonna be awesome to have Joe from Joe Gardner, and also I watched him for years on PBS. He had an Emmy award-winning PBS series called Growing a Greener World. Joe's a real professional interviewer, so we're gonna be throwing our friend and co-host Natalie right into it in one of our first real good interviews here coming up tomorrow night. So definitely come and join with us for that. And then stay tuned here just a little bit later after the conversation for what we got what else we got coming up this next week on the show. So all right, everybody, here we go. It's time to get together with our good friends. I always love this when we get to work around the calendar to these times every couple of months when we get to have these guys on with us and everything. But let's get started with our Sunday Roundtable. Okay, here we are. Let's welcome these guys to the show. First, we've got our... Oh, wait, I got to do this now. I keep forgetting. StreamYard changes this all on me now, and now it's all messed up. Here we are. All right, guys, here we are. We got our good friend Christopher with us right now, and Khang Starr. How you doing, guys? First off, real quick, Khang, you survived the night down there in Texas or what? What's going on? Oh, mute button. I think we're muted. I think you got your mute button on there, man. I did the same thing. Don't worry. I did the same thing. Don't worry. I did it too.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on. Man, the weather is a little cold. Everything's frozen outside. There's a lot of ice. There's no snow. The snow turned into ice. So everything is just ice. and
Just
so my internet goes in and out, pretty
yeah.
frequently.
Oh my,
And
yeah.
but I do want to say I'm kind of jealous of my background, guys. You guys have such beautiful backgrounds with greens and stuff going on. All I have is just a blank wall.
I
I need
know.
to change that.
Look at that room. I was gonna say, Christopher, things are really getting growing over there.
Nice. It's beautiful.
Man, look at that.
Jeez.
Dude, I got competition over here now.
For sure.
Enoch,
I
yours.
hope my microphone is
Roman.
okay.
Yes, we're sounding good,
Yep.
Chris. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah, what was that, King? Sorry.
I said your background, the plants keep growing every time we have a new show come, like it gets bigger and bigger each time.
Yeah, in fact, I'll say that I actually removed a bunch of plants from this area and moved them outside of this area and everything because it was actually because they're growing so well, it's starting to crowd, right? So I had to move some out and do some things. Went on a massive like house plant propagation tear over the winter here. So I've got massive new starts, new plants, and all that sort of stuff just from the ones that I have here, let alone adding any new varieties and things that I want to do over the next year as well too. But yeah, it's growing wild here for sure. What all you got there? Let's see here. What's that? Is that the banana or what is that that's right there next to you, Christopher?
Yeah, this is the banana.
Yep, that's what I thought.
One of them.
One of them.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bananas. This is one of the larger ones.
Seven.
This is the dwarf Cavendish. And I also have a red variety that are about this from touching the ceiling now. So yeah, and these were started in September from nothing, only root balls.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, that's just amazing. But 7, I mean, I know your grow room's pretty good size that you got there, that new one. But are you really gonna be able to grow up 7 of those in there?
I have. As you might be able to see, I can switch around.
Here we go. Yeah. Let's show us around here, man. Whoa, look at that one. What?
That is awesome, Chris.
Oh my gosh.
So these are enormous, and it's almost touching the ceiling. This is my hydroponic section, and yeah, I have bananas all day long.
Woo,
That is so cool. And
any of them
in Norway too, guys. If you guys didn't know, that's his grow room in Norway.
I know. It's so
-4. It's -4 Fahrenheit outside at this moment.
Wow.
-4 for you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think some of our Midwestern states got you guys beat over there in Norway right now.
Yeah.
Whew,
yeah, I
crazy,
heard it was quite cold. I read on the news.
Yeah. So what's the, you said it's icy out there, but how cold is it though down in Texas right now outside?
I think it's around 19 degrees Fahrenheit or so. Yeah, so not bad. It's just really icy, and we're not used to this, so people are just not driving correctly.
Yeah.
And we're staying in. I mean, we're pretty much locked in right now. My gate won't open because the snow covered it up. And our front yard is just, I see it right now. We're playing outside earlier. We're doing sliding around in a sled.
Yeah.
I saw the video.
Yeah, I did post that.
Another
AI, I was thinking.
Right. One of our former guests I follow, What Brooke Grows. She lives down there as well too, and her husband's from like near Canada, right up in those states and everything. So he grew up playing hockey and ice skating and all that sort of stuff. So she's got a video of him out in the street with his ice skating on in Texas, ice skating up and down the street. Did admit that it wasn't good ice, but at the same time, he was still gonna go for it. It was funny.
Yeah.
You just think of people in Texas ice skating outside is great. Right on.
I saw on the news that about 850,000 people were without electricity now.
Oh my gosh!
In all the states where the storm is moving over.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And some folks were also talking a little bit about that in the chat a little bit earlier too, is that, you know, you got to be really thinking about these snowstorms as you get the warning they're coming and stuff, and do some prep about it. And one of the best things you can do is have a generator, you know, those sort of things, because it's just inevitable in these types of storms that folks are going to lose power and be stuck in the cold, basically, you know, trying to heat everything up with fires and whatever else you can do, you know.
Yeah, it's a different environment.
Keep the propane heaters out of your house too, you guys. Come on.
Yeah, but it's scary when you're not prepared. We're used to, when now on the next 10-day forecast, we're gonna have well below 0 or 0 Fahrenheit, well below that for the next 10 days. So, but that's something that we're used to. It's normal. Driving a car is just nice in that weather because the roads are better. But it's when you live in a place where you're not used to these kind of things. We have ice spikes in our tires and everything. So we're well prepared for this. And
you guys plug your cars in up there?
Yeah, we have electric cars. Both me and my wife have electrical cars.
Okay, well, I mean, like, do folks who still have gas-powered cars use,
the heater, the
and
preheater?
Yeah, oil pan magnets and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's what we used to do in Alaska too. When I lived up in Alaska, every house had an extension cord that ran out into the driveway.
Yeah, but it's not so much needed on the newer vehicles now because they have that internally, the heating system. They have a smaller engine that heats up the vehicle.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah.
It's different living in a place where you know what's coming, though. You live in like a place where snow is normal. It's a different thing and all of that. Because also I was thinking about what was it? They were trying to say how many inches of snow was going to hit down there or whatever. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, it's a few inches, but then you have to put it in perspective. You know, it's like, well, a few inches for people who are not used to this stuff at all is really hazardous when it comes down.
You're right. Yeah, just a few inches, but that's just too much for us here.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Alaska, Norway, you know, they few inches, whatever, no big deal, whatever. But everybody down in Texas, like, oh my God, or breaking out the ice skates.
Yeah, very true.
Right on. Besides all the storm and cold and all that sort of stuff going on down there in Texas right now, Khang, how's winter treating you overall in your gardening or plans for your future garden this next year or anything? How things going down there?
Everything's okay. You know, they're all dead right now except the fruit trees. So the fruit trees are doing great. I did a lot of pruning this year. Man, my trees had gotten so tall, and so I decided to cut it back and make it shorter so that I can reach the fruits and I can treat the diseases easier. So I went mad this year. I think I cut all of my trees like down to 50%.
Oh, wow. Down to just basically just chopped them all in half, huh?
Yeah, all the center branches, you know, the ones that are growing up in the center, I just cut them all out, and then I spread the branches out, and I pull them down with branches so they can spread out. It'd be interesting to see what's going to happen to them, but I just didn't want such tall trees. I just want them nice and short so that I can reach the fruits.
That's a great way,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ain't got equipment or things to really be harvesting tall trees in a backyard orchard, you know, that really is the best piece of advice for anybody who wants to grow fruit trees, is keep those things short, keep them spread out so you can really just be able to reach and get to those fruits real easy.
Yeah, but other than that, I'd have some in hydroponic, just like Chris is growing some right now. I have some indoor pepper plants that have been giving me peppers all throughout the year. And so I get peppers all year long because I grow indoors. And that's the beauty of growing indoors.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? Yep. Right on. How about for you, Christopher? I know. In fact, I wanted to say that I know we did that live a little bit while back ago and everything like that. But how things been going since? And I mean, obviously, we're seeing things are growing behind you really, really well. So we know that much at least. But kind of take us through how things are going since we basically saw you last.
Yeah, yeah. So everything here is growing phenomenally this year. I think this is the best winter I've ever had in the indoor grow room. Bananas are doing phenomenally. I do not have any pests at all. I spent the last year trying to avoid it. I have been really careful with starting everything back up. Everything has been planted from seed, nothing from live plants brought in. So everything is fine, and things are going very well. They're growing phenomenally. And also I got around and I did the live stream that you mentioned where I was playing with my hydroponic setup. And I completed that now in Christmas. So I have a coffee, I have a citrus, I have a mango, and I have my avocado moved into hydroponic. The only downside with this grow room now is that my avocado is looking like it's gonna die, and that's a shame. It's a 2-year-old one, so it's not good. But I have another one started, so I'm thinking I'm just gonna replace
back up
it
on its way.
Yeah, it just didn't like the move into water. I did everything I could. I put in twice as many air stones and a lot harder pump, and also have a decent reservoir. I was changing water regularly and everything, but it just didn't like it. So, but that's something that I also read online, that avocados are finicky when you move them into water after a while. And as I said, this plant was 2 years old. So I'm guessing that if I just take a small one now, then it's probably going to be okay. But my coffee is
still a transfer from soil to water, though.
Yeah, but that's not a problem for a younger thing. I think, like for instance, I have this one started. So this is a nice size for moving into water, I think. So I'm just gonna rip it out and just
Could they be done could they be done in water from seed?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, most definitely. They could, but it's easier to start it. I just throw some avocado pits into the pots around here, and then whatever sprouts, I just move it out and into a separate pot. So there's kind of no work with it. If you want to have a huge container, it's taking up the space and everything in the beginning. It's but the citrus and everything is growing phenomenally in water. I was a little bit surprised, but it's growing enormously well. And also I have planted something called a tree tomato.
A tree tomato.
Yeah.
I've seen those.
I think Tamarillo, I think, is the English word for it.
I think I have heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do the first chat that we had in the grow room. So I was hoping that the setup was working.
I think everybody's waiting for more, though. You gotta get on it. We want to see some more from that grow room. We need updates, Christopher. In fact, Shawnee's in the conversation right now, because I think she might have been there as well too. Said, when do you think those carrots will be ready to eat?
Hold on.
I bet you they're ready now.
I'll just say this while Christopher's doing that, folks. If you're here with us live right now, too, we got our guests here. I want to see some questions. Thank you, Shawnee, for the questions. Drop in questions for these guys if you've got.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, he just harvested one for you, Shawnee. Look at that.
I have
straight out of their garden. Look at this guy. Awesome.
I'm in here eating. Oh, let me just stop I have
a fan or something.
So sorry. When you're in the grow room, there's so many fans and so many. I have a dehumidifier because if I'm not running a dehumidifier in this room, it's gonna rain from the ceiling. So I need that. But sometimes it starts back up and it's quite noisy. Yeah, but I have carrots now. I eat them every single day. And it's delicious.
amazing.
It's so strange to be able to harvest fresh carrots at this time of the year.
There you
Yeah.
go, Chris. You gotta start doing more of it so that people in Norway can see that
Yeah.
it can happen, and you can grow crazy
Yeah.
varieties
The
of different
problem,
plants.
yeah, but the problem is that if you want to buy this carrot, I'm not sure people can afford that carrot because
Exactly. That's an expensive carrot, isn't it?
having a full HLG grow light only for some carrots the full season, it's not something that I would recommend to anybody outside of having a great hobby. It's just fun.
That's so funny you said that, because I did the same thing with the Japanese melons. Remember when I was growing hydroponic Japanese melons?
Yeah.
And people are like, so if you were to sell those melons, how much would they cost? I was like, maybe $20 per melon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think this is also a $20 carrot. So
it's just we do it because we love it and we want to see how things grow, and it's almost like testing to see if it works. And so if you grow in melons in hydroponic inside a small 4x4 grow tent, it's not worth the time, but you can learn a lot from it. And
it is a hobby, and when you, for instance, when you grow carrots indoors, if you manage that to success, then you can do it outdoors without any thought at all. It's just really easy. So I need to make some more content because now the grow room is better than ever. So
it's looking ready, man. It's looking ready for.
It is for sure. But it's kind of like my safe place also, where I can come down to this grow room and really enjoy the tropic of the bananas, and you have that banana smell in the air, and everything is growing so nice, and you can just be quiet here and do nothing and just look around the plants and do some repotting. Sometimes I find myself, when I have too little time to make videos, the times that I go into the grow room, I actually like to be by myself and actually enjoy what I'm doing and not focusing too much on making content from it. And that's what happens when you have too little time to actually do all the things that you would like to do.
And David from Bowtie Life says, Christopher says, and you can have this beautiful carrot for only 4 monthly payments of $99. But wait, there's more. Order today and I'll throw in a tomato from my tree tomato.
Exactly.
Really funny.
But I'm curious, you guys that live so long south, you probably know I'm growing a pomegranate, and I have a question, if it's okay.
Yeah. I haven't tried growing pomegranate yet. It's been one I want to do because I do believe I can grow them here. I don't think they're zone. I think they're zone tolerant.
Yes, fruit on it. Wow.
Yeah. So
what?
There's a lot of fruits here on the pomegranate, and
that's small too. Look at that.
Yeah, but it's a dwarf variety, and it's so beautiful. And I had some watering issues with it, so one of them I wasn't paying attention and I overwatered. But the whole plant survived. But I took it out and took some care of it, and then I dropped one of the fruits, and I opened it up, and I was surprised to see that it wasn't ripe at all, but it was completely full packed of these small kernels, and they gave me hope that this is actually going to be decently tasting once they ripen. But the problem is I had known nothing about it. So these set fruit 2 months ago, but I don't know how long should pomegranates stay before you harvest, and how do you know when it's time to harvest? Because the color looks ready, but it's not ready.
Yeah. It does. It's just amazing. I would have never imagined that you'd have all those little fruits on that little tiny thing, but plants are amazing, man. Look at that. That's awesome. Oh, and David says, I'm going to send you some pomegranate seeds. Well, definitely, David, do that. I'd love to get some. Maybe try them from seed. That'd be interesting.
I've never seen it, a pomegranate that small that produce fruit.
No, it's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. We have a pomegranate
it's just a small bush.
It's huge.
Yeah. This is just a bush. But I also have a couple of pomegranates from the regular size also. And that's just one tall, lanky, looks like the start of a citrus kind of. It just grows long and it branches out. And that's going to probably be a huge tree. But as I understand, this dwarf variety is more like a bush. It's going to be maybe a 3 feet tall bush. And that's just perfect for an indoor growing. So yeah, I thought I could give it a try, and I wasn't expecting to be able to eat it, but I was looking online and it said it's quite tasty, but it's they're a lot smaller, but they're bigger than I was expecting, to be honest. They're
yeah,
quite
they are
big.
smaller, but they do look pretty big for a little bush like that.
Yeah.
They do.
So,
Wow.
but I don't know, probably a few months. Is it like a citrus that it would need to stay on for a few months, or I don't know?
Yeah, see, Bowtie here saying the pomegranate will be ready when it is fully swollen. That one is not ready quite yet from the looks of the bloom end.
Okay. So just a follow-up question. Now, I have noticed that mine feels a little bit square. It sounds weird, but they don't feel fully saturated yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like they're
Yeah,
really
so it might
forming
be
inside.
that so it might be that it bulbs up a little bit more once they're ready. Interesting.
It could be, yeah. They'll probably just start to swell up a little bit more. The individual little seed fruits inside probably aren't quite swelling up yet, is probably what it is.
And also the bloom and that's probably
but it would be really, I mean, it would be really hard to tell with something, you're growing in, a smaller, you're getting a different type of growth situation than what the plant's normally going to do. So there's going to be a little variation in what a ripe fruit looks like compared to a full tree, though, right?
Yeah.
But no, I'm totally interested. That'll be fun. You definitely, if you get a good ripe one and all that, you got to do a little reel or a little video or something. Pop it open and show everybody. Yeah, a little taste test.
This is my 6 inches pomegranate that produce a fruit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, exactly. I just wonder though too if it because they also have like different little sections, like pomegranates are like little sections that they have similar, right? I just wonder if the smaller ones have less sections.
No,
if they have the
same. I
and they're
opened
just
it up. It was looking exactly the same, only a little bit more miniaturized.
Wow.
But the kernels also were decent sized and everything. So I wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting open it up and it had a couple of pits in there and nothing else. But no, it was looking very nice.
Yeah, he says mine stay on the plant for a couple of months. The ridges will stand out pretty large when it is getting close. So you'll be able to see those ridges of each of those sections probably really well. But a couple of months on the, that's a good amount of time for a ripening period for sure.
But also that's outside, so I'm guessing if I double that indoors, maybe in a dimmer light, then I don't know. And eventually they will probably fall off of themselves when they're ripe. So it's just an experiment. I have years left, so I think
that's right. Lots of time to get this figured out, right?
I can get a couple of cycles.
So cool. I wonder if you can grow them as like a shrub in front of your house, because I have these shrubs in front of my house.
I saw online that you can use them as a bush. So if you want a bush fence, for instance, then you can use pomegranate for that.
That would be so cool. Something you can grow as a, ornamental, and then you can eat them,
Yeah.
And it's also it's a nice desk plant. You don't.
I mean, definitely that would work out great. Ornamental, like an ornamental, maybe an edible ornamental, but hey, that's.
And it looks so nice. So I was really surprised with that. It's so fun when you try to start something from seed, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I often buy tons of seeds online because.
It looks like
maybe we lost Khang.
Oh yeah, let's see here. We'll get him back here in a second. Let's do that real quick. Oh, there he is. Okay.
Sorry, guys. There we
go. No problem.
It's just that when I buy seeds online, I read through. Like for instance, I buy a lot of seeds from a website called Tradewind Fruits. I don't know if you have heard about it, but they have so many different exotic things. And I just look through, oh, that looks exciting, add to cart. That looks exciting, add to cart. And when I get the package, it's just a name that I don't understand, and I throw in the seed and I don't expect much. And then sometimes you get a lot of things that are so much more interesting than you originally thought, just based on the way it grows and everything. And this year I have started only these stranger things. So I have so many different tropical things that I never would have ever guessed of growing before. So it's exciting to try something new. Then I've been used to only growing tomatoes and cucumbers, peppers, and everything indoors. But now I feel like I've expanded to everything. Everything has its own interesting aspect of it, I feel.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I like the idea of too, and I'm one of those folks as well. It's been a little while though, and probably a couple of years since I really kind of threw new things into my garden. But it is always fun. And really, like you said though, too, is kind of like I see this over here and or maybe I get the seed started or something. It's new, it's different. And then you get to see it, what pops up, what comes up, and how it grows and all that sort of stuff is really, really exciting, especially if you can, find some success in growing something new. Yeah, definitely. That's the real fun of gardening though too, right? It's like, you get to figuring out those things that, you really want, you really, you enjoy. These are my mainstays. This is stuff I want to have all the time. But then once you got all that down and you got that all situated, but then start throwing new stuff in and having fun with these little side experiments and all that sort of stuff as well too in the garden is what really, really makes gardening fun. And I know it's also too, and both of you guys are similar in both of this, but Khang too. I mean, I just remember years and years ago when I first came across Khang's channel, that's what it really was about, was to watch your channel, was just to watch these fun experiments of doing different things that for me as a new kind of plant person, figuring out how growing all these little things in little pots and containers and doing all that sort of stuff, And that is kind of, also too, what I kind of titled this show today was, growing creatively, because that's kind of what I think of you guys when I think of what you guys do as gardeners, is that you're really just utilizing this creative mind. How and what can I do with these things that maybe isn't quite what people would normally do, but can I succeed at doing them, right? And that's also another real realm of the fun of gardening too, is when we get to be really kind of creative, after we've kind of learned some few things and go, okay, well, I know this, will it work here too? Or will it do this as well? Right. And then that's when that, just the real fun starts, right, guys? How about for you, Khang, though, too? Like, what was it really that sparked a lot of this early ideas and creativity that you were finding as you were exploring new things as you were growing?
I think the main thing is like you work with what you have, And so when I started growing these peppers and stuff, at the time I moved around a lot.
Yeah.
And so I live in apartments where I don't have a yard and all that. And so I was like, what can I grow inside that can produce the stuff that I want, but also not take up a lot of space? And so it becomes these little containers that I grow in little, because everybody has water bottles, everybody go to fast food and stuff, and then you bring a cup home. I was like, you know what? Those look cool. Maybe I can grow something like that.
Exactly. Like if it works here, it can definitely work in this little water bottle. Or this old container that I got something else out of or something like that, and doing these different things. So again, and I think you bring up a really great point too, Khang, when it comes down to, in some ways, we're kind of forced into some creativity as gardeners sometimes because of our limitations in space or, those sort of things that we want to do. So we kind of have to be creative. I mean, that was a situation for me. I mean, when I first was looking at my outdoor space where I live, it was a flat cement patio. I had like this little strip of dirt, it was dirt then, not soil, mind you. It's now soil, but it was a little strip of dirt then. And I was like, what am I going to do here? I want to grow all this stuff. I'd already grown that cucumber and grown, a couple of tomatoes on a balcony before. I was like, what can I do with this space? And that's where you have to look at it and go, wow, and your mind has to start imagining. You got to start using that creative imagination and like, what can I do to utilize this space, because it's giving me limitations from a normal garden, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You remember my my solo cup lettuce?
Yeah.
I made a bunch of videos on that. That thing is so popular because people are start doing it. Like
Yep.
at parties, people throw solo cups away all the time. And I
Mhm.
was like, wow, you know what? It's such waste because it's just a one-time use.
Yep.
So I used these solo cups and I was growing lettuce in it. And man, it produced like so much lettuce in
Yeah, you
like
get these nice heads of lettuce and everything on there. I mean, out of a solo cup.
yeah, when you incorporate a little hydroponic with the solo cup, man, so many things can happen. You can grow a bunch of maybe even carrots.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
you did grow that radish.
Yeah, radish too. I did that.
Yep.
Maybe we should do an episode, Chris, where what can I grow in a solo cup?
Yeah, exactly. And try a bunch of stuff and see which ones work out the best and do really good. But those real small root systems like that or smaller in a sense root systems that can handle them, like lettuce and those sort of things are perfect for that stuff. But I still to this day use the double solo cup method I learned from you many years ago. Still to this day I utilize that. So it works. You know what I mean? It was one of those things I talked about it last year, in fact, in our pepper series. And I mentioned about how I learned about this a while back, all that. And I said, the reason why there's many other methods, you could do these things in all sorts of other ways, but this one really worked for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's just something that, when something really works and, you create a system at that point. And yeah, I was really glad to learn that one and start using those. How about for you, Christopher, though? I mean, we're talking over here, a little bit about limitations in space and all that sort of stuff. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say limited in space, but you're also really limited in season. You're limited in all this other stuff in these other ways as well, too, which has got to kind of spark a little bit of, creativity and what you're doing and how you're growing things as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. Space, I have enough. I'm more.
You'll
than
build
I
it if
have.
you need it, right?
Yeah, that's the issue. The more I expand, the worse it gets. So I need to keep it down, I think. But yeah, for sure, the seasons are, of course, a limiting factor for me. But at the other end of it, I feel like I have two seasons. I have the summer outside and I have the winter inside. So sort of in a sense, I have a full year growing season. It's just different varieties at different times. The only thing that is it's easier to grow inside in winter time under my own conditions. That means that when I'm growing indoors, I'm controlling the light, I'm controlling the watering, I'm controlling everything, the heat, everything, which means that I can control when my plants should take off and when everything should slow down. If I'm going away for a few days, I almost turn off all the lights just to keep everything at a slower pace, both for watering and everything. And outside, it's more like you're either with it or you're against it. You kind of have to go with the season. So it's much more hands-on, I feel, outside. It's more work in the summertime. You need to dedicate more time into doing pruning and at least picking weeds and everything. It's so much more work. But for me now, the winter season is just perfect. I wouldn't change. I've come to a point where I say I wouldn't change it for another climate. Another climate wouldn't be more fun for me. It could be fun that I could grow citrus outside maybe or do some other fun things. But on the other hand, I love growing citrus inside, and I love growing them in water now. I'm trying that. So what I'm doing now with my citrus is that I have one citrus started. I don't remember the name of it, but I was doing some research on what would be a good stock, a base plant for doing some fun things. And I ended up with one type of citrus that I don't remember the name of, and I have started several other citrus that I'm going to graft onto this tree and kind of make my own
multi-graft
Franken citrus. I've been speaking about this before. I had this huge citrus before with a thick stem, but I gave up on that because I had spider mites issued with it, and I couldn't get it out of the soil and the roots and everything. It was just, yeah, it didn't work. I tried my best, but I just gave up on that thing, and I said, okay, let me start fresh and just add one more year to the project. But that's not going to be an issue. So, but I'm looking forward to go outside also. But it's I need to do something about my greenhouse. What is it called? The PVC panels, or the see-through panels that are covered with the greenhouse.
Oh yes.
Polycarbonate, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Those panels are, I think they're about 20 years old, last year or something, and that's kind of the end of support for those.
They need to be replaced then, huh?
Yeah, they should be replaced. But the problem is that replacing all the panels for the greenhouse is much more expensive than buying a full new greenhouse. So I'm kind of torn on looking at what I should do. I'm thinking that maybe I'll do one more season in the greenhouse that I have now. But I'm going to need to do some serious consideration on what I want to accomplish. Because outside I tend to be too ambitious in January and February and March.
Yes.
All the way to June, I'm super ambitious.
Another really great gardener trait. This is just I think we all have this problem.
Yeah. It's the same thing every time, and I end up with 500 plants that do okay, but instead of having 10 plants that do fantastic. And I really want to scale down and make more of the fantastic types of plants, because why put in 6, 7, 8 tomatoes when you only eat one? Then it's better to have one plant do phenomenally instead of having everything. So I'm in the phase of rethinking how I do outside gardening, and it's going to be some changes to it. But my biggest problem is finding time to do everything. I have too much work, and I don't have the time to do gardening the way I want to, and I don't have the time to do content creation like I want to. And it's not going to change with the first, it looks like. So I'm struggling with that. But I would love to. If I could just win the lottery, then it would be easy. I could just do gardening all day.
That's all. Yeah, I know. I was like, if everything blew up or all that sort of stuff, and this was just big, and there was all that sort of stuff, I would want to do the same stuff, just put more energy into it, because I'd have more time and things to be able to do that sort of thing. Win the lottery. I mean, again, I would just do the same things, but it's just I get to do them more, and I get to have more fun with them, and it would just be bigger. It would just be bigger. That's all.
That's a good point, Chris, because and same with me. My kids are like into all kinds of activities now, and so I have to scale back. I used to grow like 20, 30 varieties of peppers, and because I just love seeing what's going to happen or how they're going to come out. And now I actually had struggled with limiting down to what I really want to grow, and so now I scale back, but I focus more on the ones that I really grow, and now they to get them to produce as much as having more varieties. And so same with the fruit trees, you can't get all the varieties because of space and stuff like that, and also time. And so now grafting, you like Chris was mentioning, where he want to graft citrus, a bunch of them into one. And that's what I do. I graft all my pears, and now I have like 9 to 10 different varieties on one single tree. You kind of like achieve 2 goals with, with that, where I wanted to grow so many different types of pears, but I don't have space. And so I bought a bunch of scions online, and I grafted all onto my pear tree. And now my fruits, I mean, when they come out fruits, they have different colors, different shapes, and it's just amazing. So you kind of like work with what you can and kind of be creative. And so, instead of growing like 10 different trees, I have a few trees, but I have 10 different types of trees on them.
Yeah. I just think that's so good. I'm telling you, as soon as I I got to try some grafting. I think this year I really want to do that to the pear tree. I gotta do that because I'm still every time I talk to you guys, I get more and more eager to the idea of doing one of these like you talk about Franken citrus or just these multi-graft trees are just so awesome. And I don't know if I mentioned to you guys last time you were on, I did talk to a guy from California Rare Fruit Growers down in California, my trip to Northern California this last fall, who in his backyard, he has a tree that's grafted with, he said, around 175 different grafts.
Wow.
On one big tree.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Could you imagine? I don't even know how that's possible. That's what I was like, are you serious? I've got to see this thing.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. How is it possible? But yeah, no, the guy was great. It just can't. It just seems so awesome that you can do that sort of stuff anyways when it comes down to it. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see here real quick though. I did have some questions I wanted to get to. Go ahead real quick. Also. I got a question coming up, but you go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I'm just curious, Khang. When you're grafting, how do you make sure that there's not a single dominant graft, that you actually get everything that you want from each and every graft that you make?
That's a great point, because I do struggle with that. There's certain varieties that just grow like crazy. Like as recently, I grafted a, they call it the Orient pear. It's just a variety of pears. And man, those things are just like, they're rigorous. They grow like crazy. And so what I usually do is I'll keep all of the sizes of the scions the same. So if one outgrow the other, I'll cut it back. You have to, because if you don't cut it back, it'll take over and all the energy go to that one. And then the other scions could possibly die or just won't grow as well. And so you really need to do a lot of trimming. So anything that grows much faster, you trim it back. You make sure that the other ones catches up.
But also, would you keep the top, the original plant, or would you cut the top and also graft that?
It depends on how you want it. If you want the original to grow, and of course, if you keep the original is always going to outcompete the rest. Yeah. And so usually,
because I was thinking that I wanted to cut it off and to get rid of the kind of the original tree and only have that as a lower branch, because I would also guess the same as you said, that it would be really strong. So yeah, interesting.
Just graft onto the, so like for example with pear trees, it has a dominant center. They call it it always grows towards that one dominant center. And so a lot of the times what I do is I see which one's dominant, I chop it right off to slow it down. And it'll find another one and it'll go right back. But you just have to keep up with it and keep pruning. And so when you graft, you're gonna have to do a lot of pruning just to keep things equal.
Just gotta kind of keep up with the growth rate that it has, and make sure it's not outpacing other parts of the tree as well too. And I guess it's similar as other things in your garden, as they're growing and overcoming things or shading things or doing stuff like that as well too. You gotta be cutting that stuff back to give everything else a chance, right?
Yeah. So Chris, if you're gonna do this indoors, because I have a pear tree, also a citrus trees that I've been working on, and I grow them in a pot. And so what I do is, because these young branches are really soft and they're easy to mold, you just train them quickly when they're young so that they can spread out and up instead of pointing upward. And so I spread them out and I let them grow up. And now it's like a beautiful circle that goes around, and then you clear the center so that nothing gets in the way. And so it grows outward and it looks much better. And so the earlier you shape them, the better it is for you to train them and graft them, and easy to work with later. And so I have a beautiful little pear tree that I've been working with for the last few years. Man, it looks exactly as I want it to look, because I trained it early.
Talk about another aspect of creative growing, right? I mean, we got to be a little, how you're doing, and you're adding different things. You're trying to make this into something like you said, that you've envisioned from the get-go. And so you're trying to shape it and put it and do different things, and you're just really creating a tree out of a vision you have of multiple different ones. It's just really awesome. All right, real quick here, Jay says, who else is jealous of Christopher's grow room? Yeah. I am over here. Excellent. Yeah. Everybody else in the chat's raising their hands too. We got Cats though. Ask Christopher, what lighting do you use to grow so beautifully inside? What are some of those lights you're using in there?
Yeah, it's not good. I'm at the point where I'm almost embarrassed to show the lighting that I have because it might be very much overkill. But I'm using a company called HLG, and I have 1, 2, 3 of the absolutely newest lights that they came out with last year. Those are, I think, 800 or 900 watts of power. And I also have 2 Scorpion Diablo lights. Those are a little bit older, but they are also around 750 watts. And I also have these 350 watt LED panels. I have so much. I have so much light, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights at least that I'm not using at the moment because I have way too much light from my setup. But I like to be able to, and I know it sounds horrible and it sounds like a waste, but I've decided to go with this hobby. I've invested into it. It's something that I'm going to be doing for many years. So I feel like first off, I need to kind of answer for the spending, but I like to play a little bit around with it because I'm not using my lights at full power. I'm using them to have a great coverage, and I'm using them to have decent lighting spread all across. That's kind of my motivation for this room, because when I started, I was starting with these old CFL bulbs. I had them everywhere. It was a great fire hazard to have these all around. And I was starting with small plants in this and that, and I was pointing the lights in the direction I wanted. I had some aluminum foils around them, and I did all the things that you do when you start up. But
sounds like the voodoo garden.
Yeah, exactly. Where do you think I got the ideas?
Exactly, I did too.
But it's that kind of thing. But now I'm at the point where I'm saying that, okay, I want to grow whatever I want to grow at whatever spot in the grow room that I want to have it. So that's why I kind of have this canopy lighting situation where everything is decently lit, so nothing dies, and then I could focus on some plants, like my bananas. To get something like this humongous banana in 2-3 months, that's going to require some hefty grow lights. So I'm flexing in and out, but mostly I use HLG, and I'm very dissatisfied, to be honest. So I'm not happy. I'm not happy with the lighting. It's the most expensive, as I've found, but the support is horrible, and it's not good. 2 of the
not recommended.
Most expensive. Unrecommended. It's too expensive for what you get. They've been shipped to my house, and 2 of them were broken, and it's not good. It's not good. But
so
they have some decent lighting.
Chris made a really good point, and this is what happened to me in the past. And so when you start out, you tend to look up things that are affordable, and you try to use that. And what happens is that you find later that it's not enough. Then you buy another one, and now you just wasted the money on the one that you bought before that. And then maybe again is not enough. You buy another one. And I went through that for the first few years until I realized, you know what, I'm invested. I love doing this, and so I'm going to invest in something that it's good, that will last for a while. And very important is you need something that is dimmable. Make sure you get something that is dimmable, because you're not only going to grow one type of plant, you're going to grow all kinds of different varieties for sure once you get it. And so anything, I think these days, most of them are dimmable, but that is a very, very important feature that you may leave out.
Yes, absolutely.
So if your light is dimmable, you should invest and get something like that.
Yeah, and at least if you want to grow for a hobby like this, then you don't want to have these enormous grow lights that are on all the time at full blast, because it's going to fry some of our plants. Like, for instance, I've been growing some alocasias, and they don't like my grow lights at all. It's way too strong.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see what we got. Let's do that for a second. I think King dropped out on us, but that's all right. We got things going on, in and out. That's all right. I'm sure he'll be back. There he is.
Yeah.
He's back on there. All right. Let's get us back.
I'm
All right,
back.
cool. That's good you're back, though, King, because next question's on you.
Oh,
Shawnee
okay.
Shawnee asked this a while earlier, so let's make sure we get this in here. Let's do a little pepper talk. She asked, trying any new pepper varieties this season, King?
Yes, I have
creating one. I'll add to it. Are you creating new pepper varieties this season too? So let's answer both those questions.
I actually am. So this season, I created 2 new varieties.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how it's gonna work, because I was growing the chocolate Primo Tally, man, which is a delicious peppers. It is so good. It's very thick wall, very aromatic, super crazy hot, and it is just a great producer. And so I was growing another variety of mine next to it, and then I also grew the Korean gochu pepper, just the ones to make kimchi. And so they would grow next to each other. Of course, they're incompatible, because one is the annuum and one is the chinense. And I was like, you know what? I've done it before, so let me do it again. So I decided to cross it. And so I'm going to be growing a gochu crossed with a Primo Tally chocolate. And so, of course, because
those Primo Tallies are, you want to talk? That's good. Those are competitors with what they call the hottest one, right? So
they're very hot. But so far the seeds that I got from the one that I crossed, they're mostly not viable, of course, because I already knew that's going to happen. But I'm going to put hundreds of seeds into the soil, and one of them may sprout. And when you crossbreed varieties like that, it's always going to be the result. It's going to be non-viable seeds, and then you may get one that might sprout, and then if that one sprout, that's going to be the lucky one.
That's the one. You gotta care for that little guy, right?
Yeah. And then I also grew. I'm growing a fried chicken. Fried chicken has been one of those variety that people have been posting so many pictures recently. And it's become really popular, and I like it too, because it has a really unique name. It's very bumpy. It looks like a fried chicken skin, and it's crazy hot too. And I have a cross of my own, so I'll grow that soon. My friend also sent some fried chicken crosses that I'm just gonna grow for him, just to see how it's gonna turn out. And so maybe I'll focus on those few varieties this season. Grow them as big as I can, allow them to produce as much as they can, and then just focus on those only. But so it's going to be hybrids.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm working on too. I'm continuing my venture into basically creating my own version, I suppose, of some seeds that Chris sent me many years ago, the Sugar Rush Peach.
Nice.
So I grew those out many years ago. Great, very popular pepper at the time too. There were, people were really loving those Sugar Rush ones too, and they're probably still again one of my favorites. But one of the cool things was that like the second time I grew them, one of the plants produced this one, because you know how they're like they're ahi varieties, right? So they're like long ones, right? So they got the pointy end to them mostly. But I had ones that it was all the way, like the pointed end was puckered all the way up inside of it. And I was like, wow, that is a really cool, right? I was like, that was the one I saved seeds from, grew the next year, and it produced a couple of them that were like that. And I was like, all right, I'll keep saving seeds from those ones. And I've done it for about, I'd say about 4 or 5 seasons in now total, to trying to keep growing those ones. But I think I'm up to, I think this last year we got to around 60% of the plant was producing those little puckered Sugar Rush peaches. So, I mean, I've kind of inadvertently, in a way, kind of bred out my own version of a variety that's already out there, but I've never created one of my own or anything like that. But that's really cool.
It's a lot easier than people were thinking, because you know, I think back when I first started growing super hops and people are just crossing this, it's almost like a secret, you know, like nobody shows anybody how to do it. And so I was like, how difficult could it be, you know? And so I started crossing all of them, and I showed people exactly how to do it, and I think I made it so easy. And so I think everyone can make crosses now.
Yeah. You still here's a question, because David puts this up here and he says, him and Allotment of the Dead, he's a pepper grower and everything too, and he says and I'll be eating an MA Warthog pepper this fall, 2.48 million Scovilles. Yeehaw. How about you, Christopher? I know, I already know. We like growing peppers. I don't think I really into eating those hot peppers. Nope. But I know you've done
days
videos
are over.
of, yeah. How about you, Khang? You still eating and doing taste tests of these peppers and stuff like that are so hot and all of that, like you used to?
Yes, I am, but of course I can't handle it, as always. You know, people know. I was like, what kind of pepper guy are you? You can't even eat a reaper. My wife always called me the fake pepper guy, because like you make videos, you make all these crosses.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people on the pepper community know who you are, but you can't even handle peppers. You know,
right.
And it's just, you know, I was never able to handle crazy hot peppers. I mean, I can handle some heat, but it's just, I'm not like Chris, where I can eat, you know, like a scorpion and live on TV.
I know, and that's what we were just
clicks.
And that's what we were just showing too when you popped out there real quick, was that's what started, was David was saying that he's going to do a live with him and another channel as well, eating a 2.4 million pepper. That, yeah, and I'm just like, and I always say that I do have one I did grow, as Shawnee was in the chat earlier too, mentioning that we were talking primatales, the chocolate primatales and all that. But I grew primatale for a contest a few years back, and I'm not eating that thing. I wasn't eating it, but I had several friends who were like, oh, I will. So I invited one over, and he came over and ate one right on one of our live streams and everything too, because I wasn't going to do it, but he certainly did.
It's so crazy that we love watching people suffer eating peppers. It's so funny.
Yeah.
You know,
I think on both ends too. It's really, you love that. And that's kind of, I think, one of those things that I really did get into peppers and was enjoying back in the day, when there were tons of those videos going around all over the place, people eating like scorpions and Carolina Reapers who didn't know what they were getting into, right? And then they're hopping and bouncing and stuffing their face full of whatever dairy they can find. Yeah, exactly. So those are kind of fun, and it's great when people are willing to do that, put it on camera. We can kind of laugh along.
Maybe we should. They
laugh along with it today, but
yeah, maybe we need to do that together.
Oh my gosh!
One live stream.
Oh my gosh! You guys would be really testing me.
I mean, I'm down.
I know you're down, Chris, but I'm not.
I know. Here we are just switching around too. Chris is like, oh no, I don't. Now he's ready for a challenge. And
but we could do a habanero or something. That's I don't want to do too much more.
Hobbs or something like that will grow. What's a good variety you have created, Khang, that is maybe around a habanero?
The peach star kiss is around a habanero. I think it does taste better.
There we go.
Lemon starburst, I think that it's a little bit hotter than habanero. It's just too much. It looks pretty.
Well, let's all grow some peach star kiss. We'll grow them all ourselves.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the year, we'll all do a peach star kiss taste test. How about that?
Oh man.
Yeah, cool. We'll give you plenty of time to work up to it.
We should do it. Or the lemon starburst is a little bit hotter. It's very pretty though.
Yeah. I know I do got to get some more seeds from you soon though too.
Yeah, you let me know. I'll send you some.
Definitely.
I'm curious. I've fallen very much in love with the rocotos. I like the Peruvian varieties, and I actually started some now that I'm going to have in the grow room. just because I have trouble with them here in Norway for some reason. They grow really slow, and when the season is over, they're not there. so I always end up with unripe peppers at the end of the season. But I thought that could be a nice plant to grow inside, and I also have almost unlimited with height here, so it could be easy to grow. But I really love the taste of those black seed peppers. They are so thick, but they burn, and they are don't get me wrong, they're too strong for me, but they have the burning. The burning isn't that bad because it's such a deep burn. I feel like so much different from the annuums, for instance. That the annuums are just destroying me. But those are really interesting. So I've been growing those a couple of years now, and more and more I enjoy going back to them. But I don't like the plant. It's too long and spindly, but they are really tasty, and they're abundant.
Avocados are nice. They do prefer a little cooler temperature, because I struggle to grow them in the Texas heat. So I always have to grow them in a pot if I have to grow them, because I have to move them into the shade. They just would not perform well. And so once it gets to the end of the season, it'll do better for me. It'll produce pods, but then by then sometimes the pods don't ripen in time.
Yeah, but that might also be my issue, because in the greenhouse it's frost until it's too hot, and then it's frost. So there's no in between there. That might be the reason. Yeah.
There it is. Let's do this one. That's not that one. Remove that one. Let's add this one. There it is. I wanted to show those. I was just looking at them. Those are a really interesting pepper. They look like a bell pepper in a way, but they got heat to them too, huh?
Yeah. There's the one called the Manzano, which is the orange one that look. You see those red ones, but they're orange. They call the apple Manzano, and they look just like that. And they're so good if you stuff them with meat and stuff like that. Oh man.
Yeah.
Those are the Mexican varieties. They are a lot bigger, and the ones that I'm growing is those Peruvians that are slimmer, that looks more like a regular pepper. These are the huge bell peppers, and they're like a centimeter wall, and it's so thick that you almost cannot eat it.
Thick those are. They're just wow. Yeah, those do look good. I gotta try those for sure.
They are super delicious, and they taste like nothing like the other peppers. They are really different in taste, at least from my experience. But I always struggle with showing people and my family and everything different types of peppers, and they say, "Oh, it tastes like paprika. Everything tastes like paprika." Why? Why am I the only one that tastes so much difference in these peppers? That's always the case.
What is this? I had never heard of this one before, and I don't even know. The peach sickle, an offshoot of one of Khang's varieties. Have you ever heard of that? I've never heard of that one before.
Sickle. Wow.
I don't even know. It's just oh my gosh.
Sounds yummy.
Yeah, really, for sure.
Must be.
Oh my god, whoever came up with that one. Right on.
Thick wall peppers are really good. I love thick wall peppers, but I also love thin wall peppers. So everything has its own charm, but the thick ones have a really nice use case. And as you said, Khang, when you're doing stuffing on the grill or something like that, it's nothing beats it.
Yeah, nothing beats it. Yeah, I gotta try some of those. Those look really cool. I don't think I've ever really grown a black seeded pepper before.
Yeah, you definitely need to try. They're really good. They're easy to grow, but they require the correct setup, like you said, Khang. And I wasn't thinking that they didn't like the warmth too much. I was thinking that they just needed more season. But that makes me reconsider a little bit how I thought about those peppers. But I guess that would be perfect for indoor growing, where I can control the temperature all the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have either of you grown like variegated pepper plants?
Yeah, I grew the fish pepper. Remember the fish ones?
Yeah,
Those were the original variegated peppers, and a lot of
fish
them.
peppers.
Yeah, they're really beautiful. They're variegated. I grew a few other crosses of some types that look similar to the fish peppers, but they're different names. They're
Yeah,
just pretty.
yeah. You should try to make a cross or something of one of those, of one of yours, and see if you can get one of yours variegated or something, right? I don't know. Those are just so cool to me. I love variegation. Of course, like throughout the house plants, variegation is a real treasure, and you get those really cool ones and stuff. So, even especially
Like
like
this
you
one.
get, yeah, and it's just when you can get those out in your garden and you got those cool unique types and varieties and stuff, and it's really, again, one of the main reasons I love growing peppers is because you got all these just variations of
Yeah,
variety, and just
so many
whether
different
it's the
types.
plants, the pods, the heat level, all of that sort of stuff. There's just so much amazing variation in peppers.
Mhm.
I grew also fish pepper a few times, and I did grow it indoors in the grow room in the first years, and it went crazy. It was a huge plant, but it I felt like the taste was a bit boring, to be honest. It wasn't the pepper that I would grow for the taste of the pepper. It's just like a novelty for me, at least.
Yeah, same with me. I grew it for a few seasons. The taste is pretty bland. It looks beautiful though. Um, Peppers that I grow for taste, are like, if you guys ever grown the ahi multicolored ones?
Yeah.
Oh,
Man, those are so cool.
they're like
Multicolor,
like
yeah.
stripe kind
Yeah,
of ones and stuff. They got
they have red, orange, purple, green. I mean, they're just like a rainbow, and they are so sweet and so good. And another one is the Brazilian starfish. That one's a great one. I really love that one. I always talk highly of it because I truly love that variety. It tastes so good. It
Yeah.
doesn't have a lot of heat. And so every time I grow those varieties, I just love the way they go. They look like a flying saucer. And when I grow
Yeah,
them,
huh.
every time I work in the
But
garden, I just pick them a handful and I just eat them right off the plant.
yeah. But
Well,
have you grown a variegated variety of the starfish? Was that, if I understand?
No.
No.
There's
Okay.
a red one and there's an orange one. I think
Yeah,
there's a yellow one
I
too.
grown the red one before, and it's a beautiful. It's the same for me with all these plants. They are so tropical, and I always come back to my favorite, the aji or the El Oro de Ecuador. That's my
Yeah.
favorite
Yeah.
pepper of all time. But it's
Yeah.
the same with these, and you have like the one that you mentioned, Kang. No, Enoch, that you were growing the seed you got from me.
the Sugar Rush Peach.
Sugar Rush Peach, yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar Rush Peach, and all these these are just snacking peppers. They're like a sugar treat within the day.
I
And
do.
the
I
same with the
grew.
starfish, but it wasn't that. I don't think that was too hot. I think that was decent.
Yeah. I did grow the Sugar Rush for many seasons, and I really love those.
Yeah.
But I always, when I go into the garden and I pick something and I try to eat it, and it's a pepper I never grown before, I always hate the feeling when you bite into it and you just get the chills. That's when your body kind of recognizes exactly what's going to happen.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
that crazy
Yeah.
feeling that
You get the
it
little
didn't
bumps
happen
on your
before.
skin real quick, and you're like, "Ooh, okay, this is about to get
Didn't happen
good."
before. Before it was like I was eating a pepper and it would kick in and then I would have trouble. But now it's like my body knows exactly how hot this pepper is going to be at the first bite. And oh darn, I'm just gonna spit it out and hope for the best, because this is not going to end well.
You got yourself
hate
into
that
something.
feeling.
You got yourself into something then, right?
Yeah.
And now there's no way out of it either.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it's like I grew some naga last year, and then I did it's supposed to be hot, but I'm just gonna grab a bite, and I was just chewing into the pepper, and it just goosebumps all over, and I was, no, this is not gonna end well.
This is not gonna be good.
You know, what's crazy, Chris, is that like the naga and the ghost, it takes a minute for your body to recognize the heat because it doesn't come right away. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But my body instantly knew that this is gonna be one of those peppers, because I've there's something about the smell and the taste. You can kind of smell the oil in the pepper. It has a certain type of stinging smell, and when you bite into that,
Yes.
your nose is getting filled with that smell.
Ooh,
And it's just a
yeah, you know that,
regret.
you know, when a smell transfers to a taste, you know what I mean? That weird kind of little middle ground there is, where it smells like it tastes like it smells. They're the same thing almost. Yeah, that moment. Yeah. I was gonna say though too, earlier we were talking about how fun it is to watch those videos of folks who are hopping around and doing all that sort of stuff though too. But the other thing is it's also cool to watch people who can eat them and just really take them though too. You know what I mean? Just no big deal. This is nothing.
No.
You know what I mean?
I want to see suffering. I want to see suffering.
I know, but I did actually too. Just I don't know, about a month or so ago, my neighbor had a visitor over, and we were talking about the peppers growing in the back and everything. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I love hot peppers." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you really love them? You want to try one of these?" And I can't remember which variety it was, but it was one of my hotter ones that we had growing out there this last season. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no problem," and takes a bite of it and everything. But he was like in that middle ground, you know what I mean, as well too, where it was like first he's just like kind of like, "Ooh, that's hot. Yeah, that's hot." Just like it only took a few seconds, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you just see his face get red and just things start going in his ear. You know, you can almost see steam coming out of the ears and stuff. But he's holding on and he's holding on. And I'm like, "Dude, you're a champ, dude. I can't believe it." Young kid too. He was young, probably in his early 20s or something like that. And I was like, "Oh man, you're a champ, man. Holy smoke." You could just see him. He just wants to start balling or just he wants to grab a hold of something or just get down on the ground, but he's just holding on to it like, "No, I can do this. I can do this." So there's just something about those too, you know. People are just like, "Oh, I'm gonna resist the you know what I mean, I'm gonna take it as much as I can." I was like, "You did a really good job, dude," but you could tell that was really getting you.
The worst is if you eat those on an empty stomach. That could really hurt.
Ooh, yeah. And that was one thing he did tell me afterwards. He was like, "Oh man, the next day was the worst." That's when it really gets you, because that's that moment, Christopher, right? You're sitting there and you're going, "Oh, this isn't going to go well." Well, it also, for someone who knows where it's going to go, is like, "Oh, this goes for like 24 hours or more though too." You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if I haven't eaten, then it's instant sickness.
Worse. Yeah.
I've done that a couple of times.
Cramps, instant cramps.
Never again. I just get sick and it comes back up. So I need food in the stomach to be able to manage those.
Yeah, right on. Well, guys, here we are, man. I can't believe it again. Winding on down towards the end of the show. Where did all the time go?
The Dorset Naga. I saw a comment there about the Dorset Naga. I think that's the one that they grow to enormous size if the pot size is big enough. And I always wanted to try that, but I couldn't get my hand on some seeds.
Those are big fatty ones, man.
Yeah, and I remember like 10-15 years ago, I was watching YouTube videos about somebody in Great Britain or something that was growing these in a greenhouse in enormous pots. And they picked like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 peppers from one plant.
Oh, I saw that.
I think that was the Dorset Naga. So I always wanted to try that indoors, but I didn't get my hands on some good seeds. But that would be a fun project to see how tall you can grow a pepper indoors. Because it looks like or if you grow it in water, what would that be looking like?
Yeah.
That would probably be even more crazy if you gave it enough water.
You should do it, Chris.
There's this guy, the Pepper Guru or something. He's down in South America, or he does a lot of stuff down there as well. But his pepper plants, dude, are just monsters. And he's growing them as perennials, right? You know, he's in his where he can just grow them all, you know, for a few years. He's just got these big, massive ones. That would look really interesting in the corner of your grow room. There's just a big monster pepper plant.
the biggest container, the one that I was letting my avocado stay in now, it's 50 gallons. That's quite a lot of water. So it's like a bubble bath for for the plant. But I was thinking if you had something like a 50-gallon container for a pepper, then it could grow to enormous size without any problem, and it would probably drink half of it each day.
Oh, yeah.
But like my bananas now these days, I water them. I was just looking. We use liters, but you use gallons, so I'm converting for the better person.
Yeah,
so my bananas are now drinking. Every single one of them drinks half a gallon of water every day. So that's at least. So that's quite a lot that these plants do need now.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
if I go away for a day, then the leaves are just drooping, folding together, and just drooping. So it needs an enormous amount of water. I don't know how. I don't know how to do this in a larger scale indoors, because it's.
Didn't you make like some sort of electronic thing that has a floater or
but
something
not
like that?
Not for soil. I haven't done that yet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You might just need a drip system, Chris.
I think
automated
I
drip
should
system.
have that, but the issue is that it's so much water, then it's going to require a lot of tuning to not just flood the whole room here, because so much water is going to be quite the drip, and it's going to be hard to tune, I think.
Yeah.
So
yikes.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully all of that stuff goes and you get some more stuff done. I would say, man, hopefully also as well, we get to see some more videos and live streams. Let's do some more of that stuff. I know everybody really had fun the last time and everything too. So let's do some more of that stuff as we get growing in the season. It's just the beginning of the year now, so hopefully we got some real big plans. You want to, before we finish off here, I'm going to give each of you guys just a quick moment there, maybe just to kind of tell us a little bit more if you do have any plans or anything like that with your channels or anything like that as well too. And I look forward to growing along with you guys this year too. And thank you so much for being here with us today. It's just really awesome. So how about we'll just go ahead and start with Chris. You're already going there, but
so this is what you never get to see. This is everything I have. There's so many things. I should do some videos. But I don't plan on filming anything really yet, but I probably should do it. It's my best year so far, as I said, indoors, and things are growing like mad, and I should share it. It's fun, just even if it's just an update video where I just show the plants. It's probably gonna be interesting. At least when I look back at watching videos when I was thinking about growing this or that or the third. I always enjoy just seeing some tours of the plant and how things are going. So I really should get on that. But
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, everybody wants to kind of follow along with these sort of things. You're doing something so unique and doing all that sort of stuff that it's just, people love that sort of stuff. So even if you just got to jump on and do some live streams, no editing, no nothing, just do little plant tours and stuff like that in your spare time, I'm sure people will love that. Definitely. How about you, Khang? Anything going on over at your channel this year, or what's happening?
So the season's about to start pretty soon. So I'll have my fruit series, my Asian pear series, persimmons. I'll have my pepper series coming up. I'm going to grow some really interesting one this year that I crossbred. So it'd be a new variety. And I might bust out some hydroponic just, to keep it going with Chris.
Yeah.
The system that Chris created, of course, he overkilled it. I still have it. It's still going, Chris. I'm growing this beautiful peppers in it right now that I've been using for the, last few months. And so I will continue that. Maybe I'll record a video of that when I start a new variety in that system. So awesome. Lots of hydroponic going, backyard gardening, bunch of other fruit trees and stuff like that. So
Awesome. Look forward to all of it, you guys here. Thank you everybody for joining with us today here for this conversation with Christopher and Khang. And look forward to the next one. We'll get you guys up here on the calendar again for another one and keep track and in contact with you throughout the growing season. I do like the idea of maybe growing those peppers. Maybe we'll work backstage or something and get some of those orange peppers or something like that. Maybe we'll do some challenge or something down the road that people can look forward to or something as well. But I always look forward to hanging out with you guys, man. And it's always a bummer to have to finish and end the show though too. It's really hard to do when you're hanging out with such good friends like you guys. But thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Look forward to the next time, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, gardeners. Thanks for tuning in to our show today. We'll be right back at it here in just a moment. I just wanted to take a second here to highlight our regular videos and features here on the Urban Gardener channel. Our weekly garden journals, and our incredible featured visits. All right, there we go. Let's wind down another show here on our 3-day weekend on the Let's Get Growing show. Our Sunday edition is about finished up today. Thank you all so much for being here with us today for this fun conversation with my good friends Christopher and Khang. And then, like I said, they got links down below. If you haven't checked out either of their channels, go over and give them a subscribe. Go drop into one of their comment sections on a video or something like that and let them know that you saw them here on the Let's Get Growing show. I really appreciate it when you guys do that and supporting all of our guests who are here with us on our live show. So here we are again too. It's hard to wind down these conversations, but we got to get things finished up. So I'm going to run through this all real quick here. We did talk about where we were. Go check out last week's shows. Go check out yesterday's show with our good friend Destin Oak from Texas Garden Guy. We also got to meet Sean and Allison from Spoken Garden. So go back and check out that show yesterday as well, though, too. Be sure to come and join with us tomorrow for our new show, The Green Room, with our good friend Natalie from The Fresh Princess, our co-host. We're going to have a really fun Green Room tomorrow night. We've got Joe Lample from Joe Gardner in the Emmy Award-winning PBS series Growing a Greener World joining with us for the conversation as well. Definitely come and join and check out our new segment with Shawnee Grows, Robin Gardens, Sow and Tear, doing Grow What You Eat. We've got Shawnee this week starting us all off basically for our first segment of this new year and new show. So really, really awesome of them. Come and join with us definitely. Next week, real quick though, next week, this is big. Get the word out. Everybody, I want to get the word out. This is going to be our first community show of 2026. This is where you, the audience, are the guest. Yes, you all are invited to come be a guest right here on the show, just like an old call-in radio show, except for it's video. I'm going to give you a link. You can come on and join with me. Get the word out to some small channels and some folks out there who might like a shout out or something, or get a chance to join with us here on the show. We're going to do something new. Our friend Jay, the J-Bot, who's our backstage producer and facilitator, will be our co-host. She's going to co-host, and we'll have a great conversations with all of you next Saturday for that community show. Next Sunday, we've got another appointment with Dr. Jeff. We're going to be talking about blue zones on our Gardening as Medicine show. And next Monday's Green Room, we're going to have our trivia contributor, the Suburban Gardenista, as well as Michael Overstreet from The Garden Nerd joining us next week as well. So right on, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here with me today. If you can, real quick, before you head out, let's go ahead and click that like button real quick there. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Share with all your friends. Let them know about your 3-day gardening weekend here on the Let's Get Growing show. And definitely, like I said, follow all the links down below in the description. Thank you all for being here. We got a great show coming up tomorrow night for our next green room here on the show. So I hope to see all of you with me and Natalie then, for sure. All right, everybody.
All right, they're gonna run. See you on the flippy flops.